WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, so edition of the WCB Podcast, part of the Hockey Podcast Network, presented by DraftKings. It's Jarom, it's Tanner, it's Noli. What is up, guys?
What's up, boys?
Nothing, hanging out, just counting the days down still.
Just
21 days.
I don't know if I
23
want
weeks.
like another shellacking for the next two games of the final, just so it's over with and we can focus on the draft, or if I want an actual series.
I do not want Vegas to sweep.
No, that's all I want at this point is just a non-sweep for Vegas.
I do have a future on the Panthers, so it'd be really sweet if they could come back and win.
That'd be nice.
In reality, though, I am so focused on the draft and seeing where this team go. Kyle Davidson takes this team this offseason that
Right.
the sooner it ends, the better, I think.
I mean, even if the series ends sooner, it's not going to all of a sudden be like, oh, it's off-season focus time. Like, teams are going to start blowing up stuff. It's like, I mean, the longer the series goes, it's fine.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
There was a trade today. Yeah, that's true.
There was a trade today. There's another trade coming, apparently.
Yeah.
It's in the works.
Things
And-
are heating up.
Is this, what is it, Danny Briere, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is this his Kyle Davidson moment where he's getting rid of the guys that, like, I'm sure the fans like? I don't even know if the fans really like him. Like, is Carter Hart the Kirby Doc of the Flyers and then Provorov the DeBrincat?
Oh God, don't compare Provorov to DeBrincat,
Yeah,
please.
that's a stretch.
I just figured
I
because
see what you're trying to do, but I don't like.
Kirby and Carter, like, they had like better starts to their career, and then it kind of like tailed down a bit, and it's just like, fresh start somewhere else. Whereas like DeBrincat's been like pretty consistent and getting better, and I think Provorov, I don't even know what he's been doing the last 2 years because Philly's been pretty fucking irrelevant, but he was pretty good at least in the beginning for you.
Tell you what he's not been doing. He hasn't been wearing Pride jerseys. That's for damn
right.
sure.
That's true.
Which apparently is a big issue with Columbus fans not wondering why they're going for players with a negative background right now. But anyway,
Because they play hockey well, and that's what the sport's about, playing hockey.
It's true.
not in 2023 apparently.
That's what the owners really care about is, can the guys play hockey well?
And 30% retained on his salary. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We will get into that
that's-
more.
That actually looks really nice. But yeah, let's go.
We'll get into
talk
that
about
more in a
some
little
other
bit
stuff.
here. Just a
Fuck Flyers
quick maintenance things here in Hawks talk. Let's start with future Blackhawk Connor Bedard.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah. Oh, you never know. Kyle Davidson might
Get
be
the smile on
tricky.
your face. As soon as you say it, just immediately. Just cheesing. Just
So it feels like a dream. So you can pre-order your jersey.
Do you think he's like in the state where like all us Hawks fans are, where we're like, we know it's gonna happen, but like until that jersey's on him, it's just not gonna be like I celebrated when we got the first overall pick, but now it's like I need to see him wearing that jersey for me to like fully just fully embrace everything that's about to happen.
To just get like completely erect.
Yes. Yeah, I'm at a half chub right now.
6 to midnight. 6 to midnight.
Get a high stick,
Yeah. I'm just giving a little poke check right now. I need a high stick.
Clip it.
Please don't clip that. My parents might see it.
Well,
Anyway, before game 2, the NHL had 4 of the top 5 prospects for this upcoming draft at game 2 in Vegas. First off, talk about holy shit, what a town to go for your pre.
At 17 years old.
yeah, I mean, they're not really going to be able to do much.
Yeah, I'm sure they make some exceptions there for those guys. But anyway,
probably some parties in the rooms or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Connor Bedard was on the pregame show on TNT. He was asked about the possibility of going number 1 to Chicago, and he said, if they decide to take me, that would be unreal with the history and other sports and culture there and their love of sports. I'd be incredibly honored. So get ready to
Just
feel
so
honored.
humble. Just so humble. The kid
So it doesn't sound like he's pulling a Lindros, huh? Like
Yeah.
everybody in
I
the
know
entire world hopes he would.
or he's just like waiting till the last moment when they pick him. Then he's like, nah. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Trade me right now to Vancouver.
Dude,
Brock
you want to make
Besser. And not the 11th.
I was about to say he would become the greatest supervillain, but I think he'd become the greatest like superhero to the rest of the NHL if he pulled something off like that.
But super villain to Chicago.
To Chicago, yeah.
Whatever.
But
Fuck the haters.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like at this point, it's like, how do you even like question like, I'm not going to Chicago? It's like he's just doing the right PR moves and he's being taught really well, which is going to come in handy, I guess, in Chicago if Andrew Shaw and all the other people haven't showed us that they probably could have used that a little bit.
Don't let him near anybody. Just put him in a bubble, please.
Yeah.
No, I think it's
protect him at all costs.
Yeah, I think he's
Put him in a card sleeve and put him on the shelf.
Give him his own locker room. Just let him have his own shuttle to and from the rink. No, I think he's literally just like that.
Like
kind
he's
of
in
guy.
the bubble.
Yeah.
24/7.
Just AirPods in, muzzle over his mouth, can't talk at all. No, I mean he just seems like one of those like good old Canadian boys, as they say. Like he just quiet kid, humble kid, just like is excited to go first overall, but doesn't want to like, brag about doing it or anything like that. It just seems like such a Crosby way to go about things.
Oh, it's your life is 100% hockey, and it has been forever. So yeah, as long as you're asking hockey questions, I got hockey answers.
Yep.
Like you watch the professionals do their little interviews, like especially at the time that he was growing up, like there were still like very few guys like showing any kind of personality.
Yep.
Unlike you got Kachuk and Jack Hughes now, they're just the fucking greatest.
Yeah.
I hope that he can like kind of have that little bit of like lighten up a bit, like joke around, which he kind of showed during that
right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna
that talk.
I was gonna ask about that. Like he kind of showed a little bit of personality. Like he comes down, like you said, McDavid, Crosby, all these guys are hockey, and it makes them a little bit awkward talking to the media. But he's doing stuff with like Bar Down. He did like 98 questions with them. He's doing.
Oh, I didn't even see that yet.
The TNT. I don't know if they released it yet, but they released like a little clip.
There's a clip of it. Yeah.
I was gonna say because I had seen that they were gonna do something with it, but I assumed that it happened already.
And he is showing a little bit of personality. So it's like it's gonna be really interesting to see. Like he potentially could be. And this is not a shot at like Jack Hughes, Ziegler, or something like that, but he could be essentially like the first like true talent hockey player with their personality and like really put himself like above and beyond in both categories. Where, like you said, it's like I feel like it's either you're a great player, but you have an amazing personality, or you have an amazing personality, you're an okay player kind of thing. Like I feel like there hasn't been that combination between the two just yet.
I think when it comes to like looking at the generational talents that have come through the league, it's really Crosby and McDavid, and you don't get much out of either of them. Like the
closest was probably like Ovi, like, and that was just because he had flashy style. It wasn't even like he spoke out much, mostly because he couldn't speak fucking English.
I would say, you couldn't understand what the hell he was saying half the time, anyways.
But he had the long hair compared to Crosby's like clean cut. He had the fucking tinted visor. He had the yellow laces, like the crazy
flop.
Like the flop. Yeah. It was just like his style and like his crazy sellies mostly that like was different, especially when him and Crosby coming up together. It was just them two compared, and it was literally just the typical Canadian good old country boy compared to like this wild Russian. And like I feel like that was like the kind of start of it, and then it leads into like guys we were talking about. I feel like the closest one right now would probably be Jack Hughes, just because one, his interviews are hilarious, and two, he's genuinely becoming a superstar in the league.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Fucking it's with Crosby too, like he, I haven't really heard much of him, like he's just an upstanding guy, but like the other thing is he always like doesn't play in the All-Star game. Like he just recently played in like one of his first few, and McDavid just plays West Coast, and he's like marketed nowhere. And so Bedard has like the perfect opportunity to be like, show as much personality as you can. You're going to be Central Time Zone on Original 16, which is the first time of any of these generational talents. Like,
And
there's so much history that you're coming into. There's so much you can bring to a team, and there's so many records you can set. Like, that's one of the coolest things.
I completely forgot what I was gonna say. It was right there and it's gone. No, like going to a central team, like you said, like the Blackhawks, like they were asked the last 3 years, and they still had so many primetime games on like last year ESPN or TNT, like ESPN or NBC before, like this year, like they still were getting those like big time games, like nationally broadcasted games. And now that Bedard's gonna be there, like there's gonna be even more, which I'm sure the rest of the fucking fans are gonna love to see. But they just give it one more year. They just announced all the outdoor games, so give it one more year. I'm sure the Hawks will have another outdoor
We'll
game.
have an outdoor. We'll
this
have the
year, but
Winter
next
Classic
year
and the Stadium Series.
and the Stadium Series.
And for whatever reason, the Heritage Classic too is going to be in Chicago.
We're gonna play every one outdoor game for each team in our division.
And we're gonna start the season in Russia or Sweden or something like that too.
Not gonna be Russia.
Not Russia. Sorry, that's my bad. That's my bad. That's my bad. But yeah,
probably Germany, maybe Germany, because that's where Reichel's from.
And that Sam, was it Sam Rinzel, who's like turning out to be like, people are saying he's improving a shit ton.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, they're saying he had a huge year. So okay. I mean, yeah. So like,
is he still committed to like Minnesota the next year, right?
I don't know. Isn't he a Hawks prospect?
Yeah. I'm saying University of
Minnesota. University. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got so confused there for a second. Yeah. That's a good question. But again, even if he's drafted by the Hawks,
but he's committed to the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the Wild got it. But like,
I thought I said the wrong person or something like there for a second. So okay.
You talking about Kaprizov?
Yeah, Kaprizov. But no, even if he is committed, like we said, it's like we got to get through, I think, Bedard's entry-level contract, and then this is when this team is gonna take off.
I guess like take off, yeah. But like I think after
year 2,
after this year, it's gonna progress into like in 09-10 when they went out and got Campbell and like that kind of guy, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, right. And like Huey, what a signing. Like it's gonna be like not obviously not this year, but like next summer, I think it's gonna be huge moves, and then give it 1 or 2 years, and they'll start probably 2 years. So yeah, like you said, just after his entry level contract.
It was Kane and Taves is what, like last year of their ELC that they got the first cup.
Yep.
I wonder if that's like the time. I don't think that's the time frame they're looking at for this one.
Well, that's what I'm kind of basing it off of. I think you get through year 2. I even think maybe year 2 going into year 3 is when you start adding series pieces. I think next year you add a little bit more, but then it's like year 2 to 3 is when you start bringing in the bigger names and the talent. And then really once you lock down,
there's no commitment right now to like any kind of contracts around that time besides like Seth Jones.
And then you lock down Bedard to his next contract, and then it's like, all right, let's fucking go now. Yeah.
I'm curious to see like what's going to happen, because I'm sure the plan for what's going to be on track for the next few years is going to be entirely shifting just based upon like the prospects we have and how they're developing and what we can actually get for anything that we're moving out. Like I know they want to stick to the plan. They're not looking to rush anything now that they have Bedard, but it does kind of like give you a chance to reassess a lot more frequently. And if players like Nazar and Korchinski are like fucking ready to roll, like, that's when you maybe start getting a little itchy with the trigger finger on like trying to pull something nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing it truly changes is the length of bad contracts they take on.
Yeah.
And possibly like bridge type deals they sign in the offseason or like, free agents they bring in. Like, I don't think the overall plan changes here. Like in general, like the same premise is going to be in play. I just think maybe instead of possibly taking a 3-year bad contract or something, to really up, you take maybe a 1 or 2 year instead type of thing. Like, I think that's the major change right here.
Yeah. Especially The cap only went up
$1 million.
only going up $1 million next
Yeah.
year. They're saying the following year it's gonna go up a substantial amount because it's
3 to 4.
I heard 4, but
Oh, really? I haven't heard like numbers. I just heard that they were projecting it was going to go up a lot more because of, the players actually don't owe them owners anymore after this year and
Yeah,
everything.
they only owe
I mean,
70 million right now, I believe. Or once it's all said and done, they'll go into next season own 70 million.
wasn't it Alan Walsh, like the one agent for like Fleury or whatever? He had some tweets about it where he was saying that even though the cap's only going up $1 million, it could, the numbers match that it could go up 3, but they just chose to only raise it 1.
Yeah.
So I think it was something I don't know fully, but I think it was something along the lines of like they could have made it work to where they paid in full over the summer what the players owed, and then the cap would jump up, or they could only go up $1 million, continue paying throughout the rest of the season what they owe, and then by next summer it'll go up more. I think that's what it was. So the players obviously chose to not open the checkbooks this summer and just spread it out through the season.
At that point though, it's like why push it? It's like I'm curious how many players they have a say in that have one more year left on their contract.
Yeah.
Or are like, you know what, let's wait and let's see.
Yeah, or they're locked in already and it's just like I don't really want to spend more money to make it so that the better teams can have more cap space. And like, I'm locked in 6 years in Vancouver right now. Like no fucking way.
Yeah, I signed my deal during COVID and the cap hasn't gone up once. I'm not fucking letting you guys sign now. Get an extra couple million.
God. But yeah, I mean, interesting things coming up. And then, like, I know my history of our past GM and how I felt about him is well known, but isn't it fucking amazing trusting the man in charge and being able to not being freaked out that he's gonna do something fucking stupid? Like everything when he talks and the way he lays things out, it's like I have all the faith in the world in Davidson to do the right thing and to stick to his plan and guns in this rebuild.
We have to, like Toronto has the Shannon plan. We need to come up with something along those lines for Davidson because I feel like it's perfect. Not the word, like not being able to come up with a word, but like his plan is coming to fruition. And like you said, like it's everything he's done. It just gives you so much confidence going forward on like where the team's going to be and what he has in store. Like I'm excited, like looking at his trades that he's done since he came in, they haven't been super big trades, but everything's like worked out like super well. Like everything has worked out.
He's playing a chess game and like every single move has been good without like seemingly like coming across as like, oh, okay, like that was a really great move. But like right now where we're at, we're like, how the fuck has this come together this way?
Like, and it hasn't, and it's not like he's like fleecing any team or anything. He's not like pulling an Eiserman where it's like, oh, don't answer the phone. It's like it's working out for both sides in some cases, but like they're minor moves and it's building so well for the future. Like, I mean, I feel like we talk about it all the time and I love talking about it, but flipping Alex Nylander for Sam Lafferty and then taking Lafferty and McCabe and getting a first and like a couple other like things out of it, like genius. Like just a fucking great move.
I remember when he was originally deciding to like trade DeBrincat and like get rid of Doc, and we're just like, how could you do that? Like, but then he got the 7th, got Korchinski, and apparently Korchinski had a monster year and looks like he's going to be a future like stud. And they're like, okay, like that's great. Plus we have another 1D. We have a third coming up too from that. And we have the second, which was Paul Ludwinski, which could be something. We never know, but that's always, it's good to have like that guy on the back end, especially if we're going to build a younger team, and then flipping Doc for the 13th overall. And that's going to possibly be like one of our cornerstone players now too for the future. And it's just like,
and not only that,
hard to argue with it at this point, but at the time you're like, what the fuck is happening?
But making those moves, you keep those guys, you're not getting Bedard either.
Exactly.
Like
that leads into the first overall. It's
yeah.
Like I said, man, it's like a chess game, and all the pieces are just falling right where he thought they were going to be going, and it's just like, god damn.
Do we declare ourselves the winner of the DeBrincat trade already?
It depends on what happens with him this offseason. If he resigns, then like I'd say it's pretty even. But like if he's gone already, and they don't get the value back for what they like traded us, then absolutely we want it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I mean, if he goes on to sign an 8-year deal and he fucking lights it up there, I mean, it's gonna be tough. But if he just walks,
it's crazy to me that like he's considering not doing it because like what they have on that team locked up long term with Stützle and Kachuk and Josh Norris too.
Yeah,
like on just the front end, like those are very solid pieces at a very young age, around his age. That like that team would build around the four of them, and with Shabbat in the back end.
How are they caps?
Giroux's there for just a couple more years, which like he's older, but he still played really well last year, and like he can dish the fucking puck, and that's like what a guy like DeBrincat wants on his line.
Yeah,
I mean, they had
injuries with the goalies, and like that's what kind of bit them in the ass.
And also trading away, what's his name to Minnesota?
Philip Gustafson.
Yeah, Gustafson. That kind of fucking hurt too.
For Cam Talbot.
Yeah. Right now, Ottawa's sitting at 17 million, just over 17 million in cap space. I mean, and then they only have 6 forwards signed, 3 defensemen signed, and no goalie signed after next season. So it's like they will have the money to sign DeBrincat and to continue to add pieces. And
well, they don't have a lot of money because his qualifying offer is $9 million.
No, but I'm saying though, like to sign him long term, it's not like it's oh well, we have to figure out this out. It's like, okay, well, you can sign him to a long term contract, and then you can figure out the rest around that kind of thing. Where it's like they have a little bit of room where it's not like, well, fuck, we got to offer him this now just to get him to sign, and then now shit, what are we gonna do down the line? It's like they have a little bit more freedom.
Yeah, I just imagine like he denies all the offers that they send him, then they qualify him. He gets a 1-year, $9 million deal, and just fucking walks next year.
Pulls a Pasternak, like just fucking tears it up too, so his fucking price goes up.
Yeah,
even
puts
higher.
Up like 120 points.
Yeah, they make the playoffs,
and then they lose to Florida in the first round.
God, I still think he ends up in Detroit. I don't know why I feel so confident in this. I think he ends up there in Detroit.
Also, if Yzerman calls you for him, Ottawa, hang up the phone. Like
Detroit has the cap space to sign him to like a long-term deal, or just give him the $9 million and then completely build around him and Larkin.
They have 6 picks in the first 3 rounds, including 5 in rounds 1 and 2 coming up. And then they have 2 first rounds next year. So it's like they have the draft pick capital to make a move for him, to make it worthwhile for Ottawa. And it's like, at this point too, it's like, does Detroit kind of have to like fucking jump to the next gear? Because it's like, they've been rebuilding for how long now?
Yeah,
it's been a decent handful of years. But I mean, I think they're in build mode, right? Like,
I mean, they made big moves last offseason.
Yeah, with what, Kubalik?
Well, no, they brought in Kubalik, David Perron, Andrew Kopp,
Billy Husso,
yeah.
I mean, it's like they were doing the moves. Ben Sherratt, I know that really wasn't like, people kind of questioned that one a little bit, but I know Morgan Seider.
They traded away like Chronic. Like that was
weird.
One of their best performing defensemen.
Yeah, that was also
he's in Vancouver, isn't he?
Yeah.
Who did they trade?
A very odd trade.
Yeah, Vancouver traded the first round pick they got in the Horvat trade for him. Yeah,
it's the Islanders pick, and then they got Vancouver's second rounder this year, and Vancouver got the 4th rounder this year from Detroit.
Who did they? They traded somebody off to St. Louis that was on like the.
They didn't trade him. It was waivers.
It was waivers? Okay.
Yeah, it was Vrana.
Yeah. And he ended up fucking having a good year with the Blues. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's because he wasn't injured. He was just in the
He was in
player
the-
assistant program, and then they just like didn't let him play.
I know, which is weird. Like that's what I don't get. Like you said, like that's a good player. Like I don't know. Maybe the change of scenery, getting out of Detroit, kind of helped him with like his whatever was going on. Maybe, and that's why he started playing better. But it seemed like they didn't have confidence in him, anyways.
Yeah,
that was just a weird thing.
I thought he was going to do great in Detroit, but he's turned out to be a pretty good fit in St. Louis. But I don't know how much that has to do with the fact that he's probably playing alongside like Robert Thomas or Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah,
and like those are probably a little bit more dynamic players that he can fit in with.
Do you think they're going to go after Anthony Mantha and bring him back?
Just put the two together.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking hilarious. Oh my god, I am so excited to see what happens this offseason.
This offseason is good. I mean, it's so crazy for a weaker class, like free agency class. It's like it still seems like there's so much is gonna happen.
Well, like, that's the thing is like I don't give a shit about the free agents as much as like with the cap only going up $1 million, where some teams are sitting currently, and the fact that like I'm thinking everybody wants to make moves during the draft. Like I think the draft day is going to be just fucking hella busy.
Especially like there's a lot of guys like guys like Marner who have a no movement clause July 1st. Like, if you're gonna get moved, it's time. Like July 1st.
It's basically like draft day.
Isn't that the entire core four, or not the core four, but Marner, Matthews, and Nylander? Isn't that all the same thing for them?
I think it's just
Nylander's on his last year anyway.
I think it's just Matthews and Marner.
Okay.
John Tavares has a full no move clause.
Dude, can you imagine that? They fucking the core four is not going. The core four is not going. Draft day. Hey, by the way, Marner, you're out. Matthews. Although I can't see them moving Matthews.
No. I don't know. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be at the draft. I can't wait to see some of these fucking trades live, and I'm gonna be freaking out. It's gonna be a great time. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what Davidson does, because last draft was like surprising, but like turned out great.
We went from 0 first rounders to 3, right?
3, yeah, and we already have 2. Like, does he get a third? Does he move up?
I don't think we get a third.
4 second rounders? Like,
I don't think we get a third. I think we move. If anything, we move up.
I think we get a third. I think we
trade away some seconds and a first next year for a first this year.
I could just, with all the talk of like how fitting it is with Vancouver and Chicago, which is crazy to me too, because there's other teams that need to reach the cap floor that they could be chatting with. I don't know if those teams have the kind of draft capital though, or the willingness to take on Brock Besser. Or like
Arizona's
somebody else, or somebody like Garland or Tyler Myers or whatever. But like, it would just make so much sense to somehow wiggle that 11th out of them without moving the 19th. Mm-hmm. Because just how, like, even if it's a draft pick from next season, like, who fucking cares?
Or the top, like the higher second round this year.
Yeah, you can move that second, even though it's going to be like 35th or something. You can move the fucking Tampa pick next season, because I'm sure that this one is probably going to be the better of the 2 that we're going to get. Because I don't see how Tampa gets worse next year and doesn't make it past the first round.
Never know.
I know, you never know, but with Boston basically like seemingly being on the decline, I think Tampa has a better chance of making it past the first round.
Where did we hear that before though? We said the exact same thing going into this.
What do you think, Boston's going to come back and put up 145?
No, but I'm just saying though, like I mean that's kind of like, okay, Boston's gonna be on the decline. Yeah,
no. They thought going into last season.
No shit, they're gonna be on the decline. Like they have the best season in regular season history. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna match or do better than that. But it's like everybody talks about like how Boston was dead. This was it. Their season, like they're done after this coming into the season. They'll be lucky to make a wild card spot. It's like I can't count that team out until it actually happens. Like you can't count on Toronto to win until Toronto does it.
Here's the thing: they have less than $5 million in cap space, and they have 15 guys play on the team. So they don't even have Swayman signed. They don't have. Well, I mean, obviously Patrice Bergeron doesn't have a contract. Tyler Bertuzzi doesn't have a contract. Nick Foligno, Garnet Hathaway, David Krejci, Thomas Nosek, Trent Frederick, fucking Connor Clifton, and Dmitry Orlov. Like,
plus,
Yeah, but for some reason,
Bergeron and Krejci hits
their bonuses,
which go into the cap next year. So like that's even less cap next year.
So what they'll do is they'll just ride it out again. They'll just be like, all right, we'll sign
Bergeron just signs minimum. Like league min?
Yeah, we'll do league minimum, and then you do all the bonuses, and that's future Boston problem. Yeah. And for some reason, they convince these players in Boston to take less money. I don't understand how they do it all the time. Although I think McAvoy kind of changed that a little bit.
Yeah,
and it's Pasta now too.
Pasta got paid.
But Pasta, I think, could have got paid more.
I do too. I think he took less than what he probably deserved.
100%.
If Panarin's making $12 million, Pasta's making $12.5 at least.
Yeah, 100%. So,
looking at that division, though, I mean, like we're saying, Boston's older. We don't know what that's going to look like. Tampa's going to be older. They're obviously beat up. I mean, getting knocked out first round is definitely going to help them actually be able to have a decent recovery in this offseason. Yeah. But I mean, where's Florida going to be at next year with all this confidence that they have going to a final?
You're telling me Tampa doesn't make any moves where they throw everything at a team and go, I don't give a shit. Give me your third rounder or give me your third line guy that's going to just somehow tear it the fuck up.
Yeah. But I mean, like Buffalo took a big step this year. I mean, I think Ottawa is going to be another step forward next year. Well, yeah. So it's like there's the younger teams are coming in on these 3 teams that have been dominating this division for a while.
Yeah.
It's getting close to that time. I know we've been saying it, like with teams like Detroit and Ottawa, I feel like especially, but like
Montreal is the only team in that division really that I don't see is going to take a step up this year.
Right. Because they're setting themselves up to not be in that division. But they are setting themselves up for the future with Cole Caulfield.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, are we done with Hawks talk?
I was gonna say the last thing I have for Hawks talk is Nolan Allen Memorial Cup All-Star. Seattle Thunderbirds go to the final. They lose 5-0, but you know what? Hey, Korchinski.
Colton Dock scored the game winner to get him there in OT.
That's great experience that you want these kids get in. And Nolan Allen and Korchinski, I think, are 2 guys that are going to be a big part of the D core going forward. I mean, we already talked about Korchinski, and I feel like Nolan Allen, he's still hanging around. I mean, he was a Bowman guy, right?
Nolan Allen was like the last Bowman.
Yeah, and I mean, and he's still hanging around, and he's still being like talked about like as a guy. Like he's a top 4 defenseman, I think, going forward once this next core hits.
Yeah, I mean, it's just looking at the Memorial Cup, like seeing how many prospects of the Hawks were in there, it's just like it's fucking sick. Like, get these kids as much exposure as they can to like intense, like the highest level of hockey they can get, as much as they can. I love it.
Oh, the other thing, it's a Connor Bedard related thing. He just all the awards that he won for the CHL.
First ever.
The first ever to win like three of the major awards or something like that.
3 for 3, right?
I think so. It was just like best overall player and like most points and
top prospect.
Fucking the sickest, fucking dirtiest motherfucker out there. If it was a trophy, that'd be a great trophy.
Another trophy for never eating fast food in his life.
Oh, that'd be pretty. Yeah, that's Connor Bedard all over it, man.
I noticed too, he talks with his teeth a lot. He's very like
so I was gonna say like that TNT interview, he like kind of looked like a robot, and I feel like he had that one joke to open it up, and it was like his agent wrote it on a card, and he was just like,
just roast biz
here. Like it was just, what? Everybody's like, oh, that was funny, and he's like, this is laughter. like
I don't laugh very much when I'm playing hockey.
The street robot in Eurotrip, the laugh, ha 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 ha.
He's just like, I don't know how to talk except for on the ice. Just hockey questions.
When the Hawks drafted DeBrincat, I was looking at like old DeBrincat like interviews, and he was like, it's great. I was just like, yo, what the fuck did we
They're
just draft?
17-year-old kids. That's what kills
Yeah,
me. Is like people forget these are 17-year-old kids
it's so
talking
good.
to the masses. Like,
Right.
yeah,
And Bedard is
With
actually
Wayne
sitting next to
sitting next to
Gretzky
him.
too. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's fucking insane. But yeah, all right. I'm glad I'm not the only one that kind of noticed the little bit like he was doing better, but he did have the awkwardness. And
I feel like he's gonna hopefully like loosen up and like once he like the amount of pressure that's on him too is just got to be insane. So he's probably just got that going on.
Which it doesn't even seem like it bothers him, honestly.
Yeah.
Like he didn't seem that nervous. He just like, I don't know, he just kind of seems
score. You know he's gonna score on his first shot in the NHL, right?
Johnny Hayes can do it. Our next captain can do it too.
Yeah.
he's gonna score on his first 6 shots.
He's gonna do it one-handed, like when he broke his wrist too. Just rip it top shelf.
Backhand.
Jesus.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be sexy. I don't know. It's gonna be so sexy.
All right, moving
I also
on.
feel a little weird talking about how much I love a 17-year-old kid for my life.
It's
That
okay.
was the thing, too, like-
in just a little over a month, he'll be 18, and then we can be like,
then it'll be
"Oh,
okay.
sweet
20
baby!" She'll be the
First
18-year-old
NHL game.
kid.
I'm gonna be having his jersey.
This is grooming. This is grooming, guys. Come on. This is grooming.
Oh god, I was gonna say that in our group text, and I was like, it's a little too early for that joke, but let's just keep it fun right now.
All right, let's move on to NHL talk here. Where do you guys want to start? We got Toronto. We got the trade that happened. We have the cup recap or cup update.
Let's do the trade.
Trade. Okay.
Trade.
Before that, can I just say Montreal got an absolute steal on signing Cole Caulfield
Oh
to
yeah.
7.85 for what was it, 8 years?
8 by 7, 8.85.
7.85.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Good
it's pretty good signing.
Good for them.
There's a handful of like minor deals that have been made over the last like day, but that's like the biggest one, obviously.
And then
I'm trying to see if I can find this comment. I think it was on Cap Friendly, but I was telling you guys before this. There's when somebody was mentioning like, oh man, that's such a sick contract for like a potential 40 goal scorer, and then somebody replied with, everybody in the NHL is a potential 40 goal scorer. It's just like, so yeah, dude, you're not wrong.
It's true.
It's not very likely, but it's
Dylan Strome could
not
put up
wrong.
40 next year.
I mean, Jonathan Chichu put up fucking 50, so anything can happen.
Could he be a
think it's
Tanner 40 for
possible?
40 guy? That's the real question.
Cole Caulfield, can
Yeah.
he? I don't know. What does he look like? What does he get for assists?
I think he was,
Is he
close
just
to a 30 for 30 guy last year.
Oh,
I just had it up and I X'd
just
out.
a good, well-rounded player on both ends. No, he had 26 goals and 10 assists.
Yeah, I was off. he's a 30-10 guy, so he'll be like a 40-15 guy.
30-10 guy, so that makes him essentially a 20-20 guy based on Tanner.
No. I like what I said better. 40-15.
Yeah. Somebody knows how to math.
Yeah.
All right. So the trade, 3-team trade involving Columbus Blue Jackets, Philadelphia Flyers, LA Kings, to Columbus, Ivan Provorov.
Provorov.
You say Ivan. You need to
Provorov.
figure out how to say words, man.
What is it?
No, you said even.
I fucked up. Yeah, Ivan.
Provorov.
The Kings, 30% retain on Provorov.
There's no L in his name, bro. Not Prolov. This isn't a bread or anything like that.
You guys take it.
I don't know the rest of the names. That's the only one I know. You got the rest.
I have the deal up, but I have to like read through it now. So is Provorov going to the Blue Jackets in a 3-team deal involving Kings and Columbus, obviously. So actually, I'll just pull it up on fucking Cap Friendly, and then that way it'd be so much easier.
I don't even know how to say his name. Connaughton.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Hayden
Connaughton.
Hodgson. Go ahead.
Hold on. Sorry. Let me fucking pull this up. So
We're doing great here, guys. We are doing great.
We're
Okay,
well
so
prepared
Philly.
for not Hawks talk.
So obviously, Columbus ends up with Ivan Provorov. The thing about it that's kind of a really good sweetener for them is that he's got 30% retained in LA. LA ends up with Kevin Connaughton, Provorov is part of the deal, whatever, and Hayden Hodgson. I don't think this Hayden Hodgson's anything special, and
It says they're both Kevin AHL guys right now.
Yeah, so
neither of them have a ton of NHL.
So what the Kings really end up acquiring is cap space, because they send out Cal Peterson, and I mean, he was sitting in the AHL for like the end part of the season, and they picked up Korpisalo to kind of fucking take over as the number one goalie. And then they also traded out Sean Walker, who was, I don't think he's a prospect. He's 28, and he's also making 2.6. So LA basically gets rid of a little over $5 million in cap space.
Light the lamp during the hockey playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers can make a $5 bet and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700 on behalf of the Boot Hills Casino and Resort. 21 plus in eligible states, but age varies by jurisdictions. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/hockey terms.
For getting I guess like a decent NHL defenseman in Connaughton. I guess a fill-in. He's like a fill-in guy.
Yeah.
And then the other kid is really nothing. But Philly ends up with this Helge Grans, Swedish guy who was picked second in the second round by LA last season. No, not last season. Sorry, 2020. And then they get a first rounder from Columbus. Oh, it's LA's first rounder, so 22nd overall, and then Columbus's 2024 second round pick. Oh, yeah.
LA's second too.
I'm looking at what they got from Columbus, but they got LA's 2024 second round pick and Columbus's 2024 second round pick. But the conditions are Columbus must decide after the 2024 first round is complete if they're sending the 2024 second round pick or the 2025 second round pick. Okay. So they get to decide. It's one of those two.
It's basically just LA dumping Peterson's contract and Columbus picking up Provorov and Philly going out and getting Cal Peterson, because it sounds like Carter Hart's going to be on his way out too. So they need a goalie.
Yes. And I think they're gonna be giving Cal Peterson a shot.
Yeah.
LA
it's not a bad move.
LA gets $5,625,000 in cap space from this. And they really aren't losing much besides, I guess they're getting rid of a first.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's actually great for the Hawks. That's great. For a team that needs to make cap space, getting rid of a first and a second.
Setting a good precedent for the rest of the teams that need to clear up cap space and have a first round pick.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, 22nd overall, that's not bad.
No, just a dump, a salary.
Yeah.
And they retained on another player that wasn't even on their roster.
Yeah.
Vancouver's fucked.
Oh, yes.
What they have to give up? Oh, man, they are fucked.
Get the hoses. Hose them.
Oh, okay, never mind. LA didn't give up the first.
It was Columbus's.
Columbus gave up the first, but it's with the first that they got in the Jonathan Quick trade.
So it's originally LA's.
I thought it was a part of like this weird mechanic with the three-way deal, but they already traded the first. So LA really only gave up a second and got like a bunch of cap space.
God, dude, LA traded away a first to get rid of Quick, and then they just traded away more to get rid of another goalie.
Yeah, it's really weird. I I don't get a good feeling about whenever Columbus and LA do deals.
And Philly, all three of them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's where the Micah Richards and Jeff Carter thing started.
Yep.
Hashtag thanks,
Oh my
Columbus.
god.
Hey, Mikey.
What is with those three teams? Like, is Columbus just like the midway point? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Just grab a thing of Tim Hortons on your way out to LA.
Yeah, basically. It's fucking good, man. That's a good. That's like we said, that's setting such a great precedent for like
not only for like teams that need cap space and like trading first round picks, but for trades in general this summer, like a 3-team trade to start the summer off. Yeah, give it to me. You know it's just gonna be wild.
We're not even in full off-season mode yet.
I know. Silly season hasn't even started.
Final is still going on.
I know. It's game 2, bud.
It's like usually you get like the minor league trades, like draft rights and all this kind of stuff gets traded right now. Not fucking NHL players. This is fucking awesome. Like I'm so excited for this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. I think LA is going to be.
I feel like
some good moves this offseason because they already freed up that cap space. Now, like, what are they going to do? What
13 million. Right? Yeah, they got about 13 million in space now.
They decide if they're keeping Corpusal or going after another goalie too.
Dude, what if they go after Ryan O'Reilly? Could you imagine if they had Anze Kopitar, Philip Deneau, and Ryan O'Reilly down the middle? Just 3 Selke fucking style defense, like centers.
Oh my god!
How fucking sick would that be? Oh my god.
Counterpoint. Can you imagine if Buffalo went after Ryan O'Reilly and he just found his love for the game back in Buffalo?
Oh yeah. Just drove through a Timmy's on his way there.
Yeah. Oh man, that wouldn't be bad though. Fuck, dude, that center depth is wild.
I'm excited. What do they have now?
Completely,
they have 13 million in cap space.
Completely off topic here now, just because you're talking about this. What team, not including Toronto or Chicago, because those are teams we follow, are you most excited to see their off season?
Vancouver. Just the draft day.
Off season.
Buffalo.
I was gonna say Buffalo.
Buffalo, I'm getting really excited for, like, more and more.
I mean, Buffalo, I'm excited for going forward. But I'd say like we were saying, like Tampa and Boston to see what they do just to retool their team on the fly.
Just kind of possibly segueing into the next thing, but Pittsburgh. See what Dubas does in Pittsburgh, and he's right away.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely Pittsburgh too.
Pittsburgh.
Also, I mean, with the Toronto connection, just thinking about the draft day, like they're not going to be able to use like the guy that they just signed as a GM as part of their fucking draft.
Yep.
So who's calling the shots? Is it Shanahan?
Yeah.
We all know who's calling the shots
there. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So yeah, perfect transition. We kind of mentioned this at the end of the last episode, I think, and I do think we said we were going to hold up for Nolan because we knew he was coming on this week. But yeah, crazy turn of events in Toronto, going from Kyle Dubas is going to be the GM and him not be saying I'm only going to be the GM in Toronto, nowhere else. Technically, he wasn't lying.
It wasn't his fault.
True. He's not a GM.
He's not a GM. But is he?
He's president of hockey ops.
Have they said though?
Also, what?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's president of hockey ops.
I thought he was the GM of Pittsburgh.
No,
nope.
I just don't know if it's like a Sam Bowman thing where they name him president and GM, or
if it's gonna be a Shanahan thing where he calls the shots, but he has a GM doing all the work for him. I feel like I should just I feel like every time I come on, I should just keep a Leafs hat next to me. So when we go into Leafs talk, just switch hats real quick. Well, fuck yeah. I don't know.
So what is going on in Toronto? Like, I don't understand this.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't even know how to ask the question because it just seems so fucking ridiculous of what's going on.
It's stupid because all the moves that came out that Davidson, Jesus Christ, Dubas, savior now.
The other Kyle.
Dubas, yes, the other Kyle D. that Dubas wanted that Shanahan turned down, it just makes Shanahan look bad because we all know what Dubas can do with the cap and anytime he wants a trade, he makes it happen. Like they traded for Ryan O'Reilly, and we were all like, oh, I was like, oh, okay, well, he's done. They got Ryan O'Reilly, Nola Chari, and then sorry. So then I'm like, oh, okay, he's done. And then he goes out and gets McCabe and Lafferty too, which everybody thought he was going to do originally. And it's like how the fuck did he work both? You know, like it's just he's
didn't give up a first, did he?
He did for the Lafferty McCabe one.
Lafferty,
right, but not
it's not
this
like,
year's first.
No, it's 2025.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and it's a condition, I think, too.
And then it comes out.
Yeah, it is.
You know, he was going to give up like a fifth or something like that for Tage Thompson before he took off. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and how does Shanahan turn that down? Like, this guy obviously knows what he's doing. He can see like potential in guys. Like he went out and got Michael Bunting, and that turned out amazing for them. Like, other than the suspensions, obviously they got a second Kadri, but whatever. It's just like, and then MLSE, like, how do you pick Shanahan over Dubas in that situation? Like, it basically came out saying that Dubas changed his mind on what he wanted the contract to be, where he had full say, where he didn't have to go through Shanahan, and MLSE said no. So that's when, well, I guess Shanahan said no, because then he's like, well, then I'm irrelevant. So
yeah, I would say, did they say no, or did Shanahan present it to be like, oh no, look to this bullshit that he wants.
Right,
we can't have this.
Right. So it kind of just, it sounded like Shanahan ended up just nixing it. And like, I don't know, like, it's weird. Now they have Tree Living, which, like, I don't hate. He's not afraid to make big moves, but like when you look at it, like the Flames team that he's been a part of have done the same thing as the Leafs. Like, they really good regular seasons, and then they like fall apart in the playoffs. Like,
you lose your biggest players when the time comes to sign them. So good luck.
He lost Matthew Tkachuk, but then like look what he did. Like, he did
get
Huberdeau. Like he like when that trade happened, everybody thought it was a good trade both ways. Like, nobody realized what Tkachuk was going to do down in Florida, and everybody probably could have projected Huberdeau would take a step back going to Calgary, but like not that far.
The biggest step back in history.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see with a new coach in Calgary how well they do too, because I feel like a part of that was the guys that didn't want to play for Suter. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, but like we all know what goes on there now. It's Shanahan's plan, like they've always said, the Shannon plan. Like, it is what it is there, and it's just like it sounds like they're going to run back to core four, and it's just like I'm sick of beating my head with the same fucking drum every single year and getting the same result. Like, you can't bring back the core four. And
I was going to say that too. It's like Shanahan, before they even made a decision on Dubas, they were like, the core four is not going anywhere. Shanahan says that.
After Dubas just said everybody's up for grabs.
Yeah,
basically.
it's like
that at that moment it was like, okay, they're on different paths. Like, it's not going to work. But like you said, this offseason for Pittsburgh, it's going to be interesting to see what Dubas does, if he's actually going to be the GM too, if he gets a GM, or like what he does at draft day. Like, the guys, like I said, man, he works the fucking cap on him. Honestly, he might be one of the best GMs in the league that can work the cap. Like, it's unbelievable what he can do. So, I mean, I think he's the perfect guy for Pittsburgh with what they've got going on there, and trying to run it back as much as they can before Malkin, Crosby, and Letang are all done.
And plus, the team has like very cap-friendly deals for their star players.
Yeah.
Unlike
Toronto.
Older, yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And not only like in Toronto were they not on friendly deals, but all those deals are about to be up, and they're going to want even more. Like, they're not going to sit back and like take a discount or anything like that.
Which is crazy to me, because like if you just build off of like what they used to do is build off the success that you had and like what you could accomplish, and like so far they haven't accomplished anything. And so
it's such a weird thing that like it's like I feel like the Hawks teams were the last teams to pay their players on what they've done for them. And obviously like it's such a hard thing, because like then you're paying guys when they're like older, and they're obviously not going to finish out those contracts, which we've seen. Keith, Ebrook, Jarom.
Well, Keith's contract was a 12-year deal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more Steves is probably the better example there.
Steves is the best, but Bickle, like having Bickle be like a great like playoff performer, and
all
then
those
just being like, oh, this is not what we should have done. Putting Marcus Kruger on a 3-year deal as a fourth line center, or not $3 million deal as a fourth line center, like that. It's like, it's just we had success with him, but like that's not what you do.
But like I feel like that was the last grouping where it like changed into like we're paying for potential now, and it's like I don't know. I feel like you need to find that middle ground because like paying for potential, like like it's not working out. Like this is the first year that a team with a player making over $10 million is going to win a cup. Like,
yeah,
and it's just like I don't know. Like you have to find that middle ground. Like I said,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like
way too much and too long for an older guy that's done amazing things for you compared to like paying for the future. And are you going to be good? We really think so.
Well, how do you even justify paying more for these players if you're paying for the possibility that they're going to accomplish something, but like that's what you're already paying for, and they haven't accomplished it. So like, how do you justify
paying them because you're afraid someone else is going to, and you're going to get them for nothing.
I mean, that's essentially what happened with Mitch Marner. Like there was all these rumors that Columbus was going to offer sheet him, so then they just threw just under what Matthews was going to be making to keep him, and it's like.
I'm curious now too, is how much of these contract negotiations was Dubas and how much was it Shanahan? Like how much did Shanahan just say, just fucking make it happen, versus Dubas saying like, hey, let's build up here.
That is one thing about Dubas though that I don't like. The players love him, but you can only love your boss so much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like.
Yeah,
he gave all those players everything besides Willie Nylander, which still blows my mind why people hate Nylander. He had to fight for just under $7 million.
Well, that's the thing where like, why didn't they go that direction with Marner? Like, like if you want to hold out, like hold out. Like, cool,
I think it was
we'll come to a breaking point at some point.
The year before with Nylander, him missing games, and then he came back from missing those games and he wasn't great. So like he didn't want to do that again with Marner, and I don't know, but it's like he's such a good person, it seems like, that he just wants to be the nice guy all the time, where he doesn't do those cutthroat deals, and he doesn't like he gives everybody what they want just to keep everybody happy. But it's like I don't know, like I feel like that's part of the reason like in the playoffs like they fall apart. Like they're not tough, like they're just coddled all the time. You know what I mean? Like they just seem soft, and it's just. So it's going to be interesting for Pittsburgh.
They're like the spoiled kids that it's like.
They really are.
No matter what they do, the tantrum they throw, they get what they want. And
do you have any idea who my dad is?
Yeah.
Isn't it just as soon as a team fails, it's like, oh, well, is Dubas on the chopping block? It's like, well, what about the other fucking guys that didn't perform? Like,
guys that can. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my God. Everything that he brought to that team. I mean, granted, the goaltending was suspect. Bringing in Murray's bad idea. You leaned on Joseph Wall, which he's gonna be a good player. Samsonov stepped up, but like, dude, they got all.
He did everything in his possible power this year to put a team out there to win.
To win a championship.
They saw the weakness in goaltending. He added defensive up front. He brought in defensive forward, like Ryan O'Reilly. Like
you have Morgan Riley, TJ Brody, and then you add Jake McCabe. You had Giordano. You had Justin Hall, which don't even get me started on him. And then you add Luke Shen. Luke Shen ended up being in your top 4, and like so did Jake McCabe. And they were 2 of your best shutdown defensemen going into the playoffs. Like he did everything he could. He really did.
Yeah, he gave the team every opportunity to succeed.
Yeah.
I just want to point out on Cap Friendly, it shows that Dubas is general manager and president of hockey operations.
Oh, it does say both?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't doubt that. I was just curious because I didn't.
I just never heard of them actually say GM. Yeah, I just heard hockey ops, but
yeah. Cool. I trust Cap Friendly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I trust Cap Friendly more than
it's so crazy. Like Kyle Dubas is like 4 years older than me. Just like making these sick deals and. God damn, dude.
I think Kyle Davidson my age. I think he's 32, 33.
Is Davidson younger than me?
I think so. I think
Shut
he's
the
really
fuck up.
fucking young.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose it.
Let's all look together.
Yep.
Yep,
Let's see.
nope.
88.
Davidson's older
88.
than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an
He's
88.
a
Okay.
year fucking older than me. All right, guys. I'm gonna be the next Hawks assistant
He
general
was
manager.
born on free agency day. He was born to be a GM.
Yeah, there you go.
It's true.
It's kind of crazy.
Well, he just takes the day off though.
Yeah.
My birthday. I'm not doing work today.
Oh man, so it's kind of crazy because I'm about to say here, let's wrap this up here soon to talk about that when we have the Stanley Cup Final going on, and there's really not much to talk about in that sense.
Vegas looks good.
Vegas is up 2-0. They won 5-2, 7-2. They've scored more goals than Bobrovsky in 84 minutes of hockey than the Carolina Hurricanes did in the entire Eastern Conference Final.
Florida is also 0-6 in Stanley Cup Final in their Stanley Cup Final history. They have not won a Stanley Cup Final game.
They're doing to Carolina.
They're 0-7 at T-Mobile Arena. I believe I saw Matthew Tkachuk is 0-9 there.
Okay.
Jesus.
Okay.
So even
this is setting up perfectly for a game 7.
So
FLA
even
live, baby.
Yeah, so even if they do come back, they have to
win one in Vegas.
They have to win one in Vegas.
They have to get the monkey off their back.
They're just
remember when the Hawks couldn't win a game in Vegas at all, and then they finally technically won a game against Vegas in the bubble? I guess it wasn't in Vegas. They just couldn't beat Vegas, period. Like at home or away.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things, man. Like this postseason, it does not matter how big like a team has won 2 games because it doesn't mean shit for the next 5 possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And the team that just lost is going to come back so fucking hungry.
Florida came back down 3-1 already this playoff.
Yeah,
like
exactly. They know how to come back.
Yeah,
yeah. Right now, they're this in standings wise, they're playing the worst team that they played so far this postseason,
which is fucking wild. But
yeah,
it just seems like to me watching the games, like Florida's taking a shit ton of penalties, which they weren't taking a ton the first 3 rounds, or they were just getting away with more the first 3 rounds because they were playing like assholes, like they are. But it just seems like
3 misconducts in 2 games.
Yeah, dude. It just seems like they're trying to do the same shit they were doing the first 3 rounds, but Vegas is so
disciplined,
poised, and disciplined that they're just like, we're here to win a cup. We're not here to fuck around. And like they're just letting all that shit go, and the refs are just seeing Florida guys do stuff over and over again, and that's why they're getting all the penalties. Like I forget who got tossed yesterday. And they were saying like he skated past the Vegas bench and he was just beaking at all of them, and not one of them like looked at him. Like they all just looked past him and just like didn't pay attention, like didn't give him the time of day. Like that's a Stanley Cup champion attitude right there. Like just focus on the game and don't focus on that shit afterwards, which Florida's going to have to change their game plan back in Florida, because what they're doing right now just isn't working.
I hate that. I hate their management so much in Vegas to take away, because it's like what Vegas is doing. It's like you said, Stanley Cup hockey. They're a Stanley Cup team, and it's so fucking impressive what they're doing. But it's like, I just fucking cannot stand this team. Like I hate how they're built. I hate how their management handles their roster and all that kind of stuff. It's like fuck, god damn it, dude, do something right.
So the thing that's like really showing in this as well is during the regular season, the Florida Panthers were the 2nd most penalized team in the league. Vegas was the least penalized team in the league.
Yep.
They have the most discipline. And then they were just like, okay, we'll take a power play. And then their power play was probably pretty fucking good. Let's see.
And not only that, but like
it wasn't that great actually, but it was 20%.
Paul Maurice teams are heavily penalized always. Like up in Winnipeg, they're always penalized, like one on top and getting penalties. Like that's just the way.
He just wants them to get in their fucking head. Yeah. And I mean, you kind of saw it with Tkachuk in the beginning of the first round, where he was really getting into the Boston players like a bit. Like he was mixing it up with Allmark. That time, like he wasn't getting penalized because everybody was just kind of getting shoved around. Right now, he's getting penalized. He's getting the misconducts, but like, I'm sure he's just trying to fucking break people because the second that they start going after him, he's gonna start tearing it up.
He was laughing in the Maple Leafs faces anytime they did anything, and now he's so frustrated that he has, like you said, 3 fucking misconducts and 2 games.
The last
two
one,
of them are soft though.
Bullshit. Yeah, that one was bullshit.
Where he just one-handed tapped the stick and it fell out of the guy's hand.
Like, get out of here! It's like
also,
he
destroyed Jack Eichel.
I know. Did he get a 10 on the Eichel hit?
No,
it was
afterwards. It was
afterwards. All the scrums
Okay.
afterwards. Yeah,
I was gonna say that was probably the cleanest that I've seen all playoff.
Jack Eichel came out and said like that was a clean hit.
He's like, it's a contact game, and that was a clean hit.
Yeah. So
that's
why
worse because
like,
Eichel was
it makes me
falling
like Eichel
or whatever.
Too. Yeah,
it looked like Eichel
pounds.
was gonna be fucking out, and then we didn't even talk about Gudis got fucking wrecked, and he left the game, never came back, and
that's a big issue for Florida too, because Gudis is a huge momentum like getter.
And not only they don't have many injuries, honestly. Like that we know of, obviously, but like they haven't really missed anybody at all this playoffs.
Yeah,
Florida or Vegas, like both.
Florida. Well, I guess both, really.
Yeah, it's like Marchessault. I think that whole story is hilarious too. The fact that Marchessault and Riley Smith were given to Vegas in order to like keep
traded Riley Smith to make sure that they took Marchessault.
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
And then Marchessault is the one that scores first on the 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before the playoffs started, I was looking at like Conn Smythe odds for like who I would take, and looking at obviously Florida. I was looking at Kachuk and Bobrovsky. He was the lead, but I was looking at who I would take in Vegas. I was looking at Aiden Hill, who was like plus 1,500, which was fucking crazy, and Marchessault, who was plus 650, and then Eichel was like plus 300 or something, and Marchessault is now the lead, and he's like minus 110. And I'm like,
Jesus.
He has 2 good games against Vegas, and against Florida, and I'm like, I didn't take the bet. I just looked.
I just think it's gotta be Aiden Hill, man.
Yeah, if he keeps it up, like it's gonna be tough for like if Florida does come back and end up winning it all. It's gonna be tough, I think, arguing for Bobrovsky unless Chuck is just completely vanished during like the entire next like 5 or 6-5 games. Whoever
Yeah, you could have like Duclair and Verhaeghe step up and take them or something. So
yeah, or even like fucking Brandon Montour has been just insanely good during the whole playoffs. I mean, he had the most clutch goal against Boston. That's one that sent them into OT in Game 7. And Chuck's been disgusting though. It's hard to argue against like a guy that gets 3 game winners in one series,
An assist on the other.
Yeah, right. Like hockey's just so cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, that game is it tonight? Technically, when this post, or
no, it's
Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday. Okay.
2 days off, and then Thursday, Saturday, and then not till next Tuesday.
Damn. Maybe
if they go Game 5.
So all right. We're gonna wrap things up.
I don't
here.
like Stanley Cup Final sweeps. I do not like them.
No.
Even 5 games. Like, give me 6.
I want 7. Every Stanley Cup Final needs to go 7, unless it's the Hawks because they always win in 6.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Because that's old Hawks. We're talking new Hawks here. Maybe we do sweep in the final. Then that's fine. That's fine.
All right. So we're gonna do a new segment here to wrap things up for the show. This is a Noli project. What do you want to call it?
I don't know. We can workshop a name, but
workshop on the name.
Instead of bringing trivia, which I still have trivia lined up if we ever want to go back to it. I'll save that for the off season though. No, I just seen a lot of these like Tic Tac Toe boards with the teams or like trophies lined up, and it's just 2 people going tic tac toe, but you have to name that player from 2 teams
that fits it.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. I was just bored the other day, and I just started making some boards thinking it'd be fun. And yeah, I'm upset that I don't get to take part, but I'm excited that I got to build them and see who you guys come up with.
We'll get the concept down, then we can switch off making them so that everybody.
I would love to make them.
Yeah. I have 3 of those made up already. 2 of them I have 3 written down. I have 2 of them on Excel, so we can either do 1, we can do 2 today, but whatever. So
let's start with 1.
Let's see how quickly we get 1.
Yeah. Let's start with that.
Okay, so
and we're not looking up anything.
How this goes?
Or you'll look it up.
Phone is over here.
I have a list. Let me go get my list. Hang on, sorry.
Does he have a list of like possible answers? Is that what it is?
I don't know, but this is gonna be fun. I think
it better be.
Better be.
If it's not, I quit.
It's out here somewhere. I just had it. So fuck.
Kings and Predators had discussed a trade involving goalie UC Saros during the season prior to LA landing Korpisalo Gavrikov.
UC Saros, jeez.
Whoa, that would have been
okay.
Could you imagine UC Saros in LA?
Imagine why Nashville would do that.
UC Saros.
Multiple firsts and prospects, it says.
Okay. All right. So I'll share my screen, and I don't know if this is working. This is a great way to end the podcast with that.
There we go.
Okay.
I see what we got here.
So for those listening, across the top we got the Hawks, the Hurricanes, and the Blue Jackets, and then down the left it's Selke winners, Calder winners, Calder Trophy, not Calder Cup, and then Stanley Cup. So like I said, the goal is get Tic Tac Toe. You have to name, somebody from the Hawks that won the Calder before to get that spot if nobody can figure out what's going on. So I don't know who's going to start, but
is it, and there's answers for every single one?
Yes. There's at least 2 guys for every single one.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I had to get the list, because there's only 2 for some of them. And they didn't have to win that trophy
with that team.
It's
Gotcha.
just they won a trophy and played for that team.
Right.
Because obviously nobody's won the cup with the Blue Jackets.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't know who's going to go first, but
Tanner, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'll just take the easy one. That's the Selke and the Blackhawks and go with that Taves. That's top left corner there.
All right. Let's see.
maybe
I am gonna go Andrew Ladd, Stanley Cup, but Carolina.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I should have had these fucking letters like.
You're good. We're workshopping. We're gonna make this perfect going forward.
All right, whenever you're ready, Tanner, go ahead.
Damn. I mean, it's like
some of them are easier than you think, but you it's hard to get there.
Right. I'm just trying to picture. I can just do easy ones and go down the line, but he would also be able to just get that though too.
I was gonna say I figured one of you would go for the Hawks line, and then the other one would block it really quick.
Yeah,
that's what it's like. Okay, yeah, I'll just do Patty Kane, Calder.
All right, then Jonathan Taves, Stanley Cup,
or any of the other
right
30.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I did not write out.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
So this is all-time roster, right? So it's not just current.
Oh,
it's the goalie.
Yeah. Anybody to ever play for these teams that have ever won a Stanley Cup or Calder or Selke, like I said.
Oh, Jeff Carter in Columbus.
Yep.
Did you have Gabrick down with Tampa? Just curious.
What?
Or wait, no, Gabrick never played for Columbus. Never mind.
Yeah, he did.
You did?
Yeah. Wasn't Gabrick on Columbus?
I don't think so.
No, he was LA, wasn't he?
I thought his contract got traded to Columbus.
Oh. All right, Calder. Fucking Carolina. Ooh. Fuck, I don't know.
There's not many options, but there's one.
There's one.
Wasn't
kinda
Cam? It wasn't Cam Ward, was it?
No.
No.
Does that count as your turn?
Yeah.
It's kind. You said it's kind of obvious though. Fuck.
I feel like we're gonna have to like. I'm gonna have to like set a time limit.
It's like I don't
Yeah.
think. What? No, Svechnikov didn't win it.
No.
I can't even think who's on Carolina at this point. I'm struggling.
For those listening right now, Tanner has a chance to win. He just needs the Carolina Calder winner, and that's the only option for a win right now.
Oh my god! And it's funny because like I can think of the Calder winner for Columbus because it's the guy that beat out Chris Versteeg, but I can't think of who the fuck is on Carolina.
Just take it. Put the real pressure on me.
Is it in a? So wait, is like fuck Steve Mason? Is that what his name is?
From Columbus.
From Columbus, the Calder Trophy winning goalie.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that one.
So now
I can't think.
Jarom has to block two different spots: a Selke Columbus winner or a Calder Carolina winner.
Selke. Rick Nash was in a Selke, was he?
No.
Fuck. All right. Just go with my gut, trying to keep it going.
Man, adding Columbus is like a hard one.
That's a tough one.
I tried to. I think the next one's pretty easy, and then the following one's just the third one I have is just teams, but I don't have that one built yet. So what would be a good amount of time for each question?
Oh, I don't know. Like 45 seconds, 30 seconds.
Dude, I was gonna say 15 or 30.
Oh yeah. I can't think on who's won fucking Selkies. It's just been too much Patrice Bergeron that I'm having a hard time thinking of anybody else.
I like want to help, but I'm not going to because I don't want to help.
Jarom, you got anything?
Did you go?
Yeah, I was the last one to go, wasn't I?
No, I said Rick Nash for Selke.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that was my turn. Did Jordan Stahl ever win a Selke?
No.
Okay, so that would have been just the other spot for me because I can't think of the other two that I really
Another
need.
potential winner.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about this? Did Ron Francis win a Selke?
He did win a Selke. So now you
That's
gotta
great.
get that call there.
Carolina Hurricane Calder. Fuck.
Who knew you knew so much about Carolina history, Jarom?
Dude, I literally have named like the 3 guys I remember that wasn't currently on the team.
So there's 2 spots left. One,
I can't
win. One, either of them could get win.
Where you going, Tanner?
I don't know. I can't think. It's too much pressure. I mean, fucking Columbus is just so like guys just roll through there. So like, who the fuck was on that team anyway?
I want to give a hint so bad, but
It's gonna be something stupid, and I know it. I don't know. Calder, fucking Carolina Calder. Rod Brindamore. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I don't even know if he was drafted by them.
what if I give a hint?
Hey, can I ask for the 2 spots available? Is it him for both of us? Are they currently did they win it with the 2 teams? Probably no one either. That's gonna not help at all.
There's only 2 options here, and I know one didn't, and I think one
they didn't. I don't think anybody on Columbus has won it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think anybody has ever won like individual hardware on Columbus, other than the one that I literally just said, the fucking Calder Trophy for Steve Mason.
Can I give you guys a hint for this Calder? And
Sure.
whoever says it first gets it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Still in the league, in the Eastern Conference.
That's it.
It's fucking obvious, dude.
It's probably really. Sean Couturier. No, that would be more if anything Columbus connection. God damn it.
Just before the 2010 era, I think.
Is it Jordan Staal?
No.
Huh.
I
don't think Jordan Staal had won it. Oh, it's the Calder. What am I thinking of?
Calder, Rookie of the Year.
Plays for Buffalo.
What the fuck, man? Oh, Jeff Skinner.
Jeff Skinner, yeah.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ.
God damn, I forgot he won the
I forgot
Calder.
about Jeff Skinner.
Jeff Skinner and Sergei Samsonov. And then this one was
Sergei Samsonov?
and Sergei Fedorov.
Who was the other
my
one?
God, Fedorov? I forgot about
Pekka.
that. I didn't know Pekka won a Selkie.
Yeah, I didn't either. That was weird.
Interesting.
That was
shit. He did play for Columbus.
That was pretty tough.
Yeah, no, that was
a tough one. All right, you said the other one's easier.
Yeah, I have a name for this one, but I'm not going to name it until we
You
do
want
it.
to go for it?
Let's just do it. Do you want to end the episode and we can just do this one as like a real thing?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. All right, so that will be the rest of this episode. Episode 226. Tanner, what are we calling it?
Oh fuck. What are we calling it? I don't know, man. Fucking 3 weeks till glory.
How many days out are we?
21.
21. It's gonna be beautiful.
All right, so make sure to follow us on social media at WCB Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you find your podcast. Follow Hockey Podcast Network at HockeyPodNet. DraftKings code, promo code THPN. Yeah, other than that, we'll see you on the next one.
All right, love you, boys.
Bye. Next time.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.